Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Syarifudin Hidayatullah, and I will tell you about the how to learn any language in 6 months. Okay, have you ever had a question in mind for so long that it becomes part of how you think, maybe even part of who you are as a person? Well, I've had a question in my mind for many years, and that is, how can you speed up learning? Now, this is an interesting question because if you speed up learning, you can spend less time at school, and if you learn really fast, you probably wouldn't have to go to school at all. Now, when I was young, school was sort of okay, but in 1981, I took myself to China, and I decided that I was going to be native level in Chinese inside 2 years. Now, you need to understand that in 1981, everybody thought Chinese was really difficult, and that a Westerner could study for 10 years or more and never really get very good at it. And I also went in with a different idea, which was taking all of the conclusions from psychological research up to that point and applying them to the learning process. What was really cool was that in 6 months I was fluent in Mandarin Chinese, but I looked around and I saw all of these people from different countries struggling terribly with Chinese. I saw Chinese people struggling terribly to learn English and other language, and so my question got refined down to, how can you help a normal adult learn a new language quickly, easily, and effectively? Now, this is a really important question in today's world. We have massive challenges with environment, we have massive challenges with social dislocation, with wars, all sort of things going on, and if we can communicate, we're really going to have difficulty solving these problems. 10 years ago, everybody believed that heavy stuff doesn't fly, except it does, and we all know this. How does heavy stuff fly? We reorganize the material using principles that we have learned from observing nature, birds in this case. And today we've gone even further. So you can fly a car. You can buy one of these for a couple $1,100. We now have cars in the world that fly, and there's a different way to fly which we've learned from squirrels. So all you need to do is copy what a flying squirrel does. Build a suit called a wing suit, and off you go. You can fly like a squirrel. Now most people, a lot of people, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people think they cannot draw. However, there are some key principles, five principles that you can apply to learning to draw, and you can actually learn to draw in 5 days. So, if you draw like this, you learn this principle for 5 days, in apply them, and after 5 days, you can draw something like this. Now, I know this is true because that was my first drawing, and after 5 days of applying this principle, that was what I was able to do. So let me share a story. A keyboard is a tool. Typing Chinese a certain way, there are methods for this. That's a tool. I had a colleague many years ago who went to night school, Thursday night, 2 hours each time, practicing at home. She spent 9 months and she didn't learn to type Chinese. And one night we had a crisis. We had 48 hours to deliver a training manual in Chinese, and she got the job. And I can guarantee you in 48 hours she learned to type Chinese because it was relevant, it was meaningful, it was important. She was using a tool to create value. So the second principle for learning a language is to use your language as a tool to communicate right from day one, as a kid does. Okay, that's how they communicate. Okay, start mixing, get creative, have fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just has to work. And when you're doing this, you focus on the core. What does the mean? Well, any language in his frequency content in English, 1000 words, convert 85% of anything you're ever going to say in daily communication. 3000 words give you 98% of anything you're going to say in daily conversation. You got 3,000 words. You're speaking the language. The rest is icing on the cake. And when you're just beginning with a new language, start with your toolbox with number one. In your new language, you say things like, "How do you say that? I don't understand. Repeat that, please. What does that mean?" All in your target language. What you need to do is realize that everything you know is an image inside your mind. It's feelings. If you talk about fire, you can smell the smoke, you can hear cracking, you can see the flames. So what you do is you go into that imagery and all of that memory, and you come out with another pathway. So I call it sandbox, different path. You come out of the pathway and you build it over time. You become more and more skilled at just connecting the new sound to that image that you already have into that internal representation, and over time you even become naturally good at that process that becomes unconscious. So there are 5 principles that you need to work with, 7 action. If you do any of them, you're going to improve. And remember, these are things under your control as the learner. Do them all and you're going to be fluent in a second language in 6 months. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.